Welcome back to Livie's Lovelies, your inspirational craft channel, and I'm your host, Sam the Fabulous. For more ideas, inspiration, swaps, and challenges, click the link in the description below to join our craft community, the Maker Exchange, on Facebook. Welcome back to the Lovely Lab. For those of you who are new to the channel, I'm going to go ahead and encourage you to click that subscribe button along with the notification bell so you don't miss any of the crafty uploads, and you too can be a part of this lovely craft community. For those of you who are current subscribers, thanks so much for coming back, for commenting, liking, for sharing the content, and for joining along on this latest gratitude journal series. I've gotten a lot of feedback, and because it's posted in different Facebook groups, I've been able to interact with quite a few of you. So I just want to let you know I do appreciate it, and I look forward to crafting and creating along with you guys in the near future. Now, the reason I'm popping on today is not because I'm in some major craft revelation and we're getting ready to do something awesome and fantastic. I am popping on just to share with you today's realization of how quickly our attention in crafting can be diverted to another part of the craft, some other type of craft process. So here's what I'm talking about. Today I started off, we got finished with classwork early. I'm getting ready to start. I got to do some follow-up calls for real estate. But before I do all of that, and before we get started with dinner, I said, let me go ahead and get started on Josh's Valentine's Day card. While he's preoccupied, just completely done with classwork. He ain't going to be coming back into the classroom anytime soon. He don't want to see it. So I said, well, let me sit down and get started on his card, and that way I can get the bulk of it done and then just decorate it probably at night when he goes to sleep. So I pull out the stamp set. I pull out some sticker sheets that I received in Happy Mail from Tam of Tam's Journals. Thanks, Tam, if you're watching. And then, so I said, well, let me make a background, sports-themed Valentine's Day card, and using the stamps that I wanted to create a background with the basketball and the stars, like all stars. So I'll pull out some paper, kind of similar to the color of a basketball, And then I said, well, let me pull out a die so that I can die cut it. So then I pull out this nesting die set that I got off of AliExpress. I had only used one of them, so the rest of them were still connected. So I went on ahead, pulled out the pliers, and pulled them apart, because then I got the wonderful idea to go ahead and use this die set to pull out my scrap bin and cut out some, use my scraps up, and that way I'd have some, rectangles on hand. I could just throw them into my ephemera book, and I could have some ready-made pre-stitched or, stitched edge squares, rectangles on hand. So that's what I did. And then I went on ahead and did some alternate colors for the backgrounds for his card. So then I've got these stamps, this die set out. And I said, well, let me pull out another nesting die set. I mean, at least I'll have two shapes to work with. Now I have the Spellbinders die nesting die set out. Okay, so then I have the rectangles scraps cut out. Then I have the oval, shapes cut out, and I'm like, okay, this is working. Not that I'm putting a huge dent in that scrap bin, but nevertheless, I'm doing something, prepping. I'm doing craft prepping. That's what I tell myself, because I'll use those in some other craft. So while I have the craft bin out, or while I have, the die Cuttlebug out, the bin that I keep the plates in is down. So this is where I keep the plates, along with just a few, the dies go in here, and some of the, we call it the embossing plates, embossing folders. So they're in there. And also what was in here is these paper bags that I picked up recently at Walmart. Now, mind you, just let you know, 24 of them come in a bag, 3x4s. So I say, I see the bags, I pull them out, and I said, well, and as I'm sipping on my coffee, let me pull out about, 7 or 8 of these in coffee dye. I'm using the coffee that's left in the coffee maker. So then I go ahead and I'm coffee dyeing some of the bags. And I will say they came out rather nice. Nice color. Now, I will tell you, when I get finished coffee dyeing, my things go in a Ziploc bag along with the dryer sheet, because the strong coffee scent really isn't something that I enjoy. I don't mind it once it fades away, it fades out, but a strong scent, no, not so much. So anyway, so now I've got the coffee dyed bags going, and I'll spread them out over the heater, the vent. And so, it's cold here, so we've got the heat on. So I've got that working. Mind you, I started off making a Valentine's Day card, okay? So then I say to myself, as I'm putting the nesting dies away, and oh, by the way, in that same bin with the plates for the Cuttlebug die cutting machine is other little journals and ephemera that I've made, okay? So then I say to myself, because I'm looking in there, let me go ahead and pull those out so that I can, when I'm done with the card, finish working on my ephemera folder, because I've got to sew some pockets in here, and I've not completed that. I wonder why. I cannot be the only person who's like that. So now, once again, if you haven't heard me say this before, this is just a 3-ring binder from Family Dollar or Dollar General, and it comes in their line, their collection. They have these. You can get the 3-ring binder for $1. You can get 2 of these folders for $1. Comes in separate packages. You can get 3 of these dividers for $1. So I've gone ahead and taken you hear the coffee pot? There's no coffee in there. I've taken the inside of the bag from out of the cereal box, washed it out, dried it, and that's what I'll use to stitch into, to make pockets for the ephemera book, because I'm not making that from scratch. It's not, I'm not gonna, now I will use my creativity to create aspects of the ephemera book, but I'm not gonna make a book for it exclusively for that, because I need it to be sturdy, and I like that I can stand this up on my, so nevertheless, you see how I digressed there just with this conversation. This is how I digressed throughout the whole entire hour and a half that I sat at this table, die cutting, coffee dyeing. Then I went on to adhere scrapped clusters onto, the bag, just to see how that will. It went on and on, people. So I'm just wondering if I am the only person out here who starts off in that craft room with limited time, mind you, to do one thing, but end up doing God knows how many other things. Sometimes finishing what you started, a lot of times not. And as it stands right now, my son, when I went into his room before turning on the camera, he asked if I was going to come in and hang out in his room with him while he games, which is something I usually do in the evenings. So I don't know if I'll be doing that, considering I just spent an hour and a half, deviating from one thing to the next and not really finishing anything except for those scraps. I did get that scrap bin and paper coffee dyeing accomplished, but as far as his Valentine's Day card, honey, that is going to have to wait until after he goes to sleep. So anyways, I just thought that I would hop on. Oh, and by the way, one more thing. I realized when I went to go put the dyes back in, it would be going back into this flimsy little bag. So then I said, well, let me pull out some, a cereal box and cut that up and put some magnets on it so that I can glue those down so I can place the the dies on that and keep them in place. Now, whether or not that actually works, this works or not, it remains to be seen. But folks, if I can give you a word of advice for the week, it would be to stay focused. Commit in your mind before you even get started what you're going to do, how much time you're going to spend on it. Set a timer if you have to, or, something along those lines. But you do not want to be like me, not today, where you've got plenty of things to do, little time to do it in, and maybe not even end up accomplishing anyway. So anyways, that's my tip for y'all for this week. I hope you guys are having a wonderful week. And with that being said, I will see you guys on the next video. And until we're back here again on YouTube, guys, stay encouraged, stay blessed, stay creative and crafting. Mwah, mwah. Bye for now. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Hit subscribe to join the crafty community, and be sure to click the bell for notifications of new uploads. Thank you so much for watching. Now stay tuned for more from Livie's Lovelies, your inspirational craft channel. Bye for now.